Hey everyone, if you've been following us for a while, you'll know that we have been off YouTube for a few months, and basically it's nothing really exciting. We've pretty much just been working. So if you've watched a few of our last videos, we did mention that we were coming up to the Northern Territory for work. We've been living in the van and working. The job involves a lot of travel and that, and we've been doing like 50 to 80-hour weeks a lot of the time, so just no time to edit videos or anything like that.
We did plan to keep putting up videos that we already have the footage for, but it just hasn't worked out that way.
So this is what the last 3 months has looked like for us, being out at work, traveling and on the road.
Sorry for the racket. Nice cruisy day by the floodway.
Yeah, so in our last video, we were in South Australia. We made our way up to the Northern Territory. We would like to continue rolling some of those videos that we took during that time, so we'll start releasing them again soon. But like I said, we just haven't had the time to be doing that. With us working full-time and living in the van, the situation kind of got a little bit much for us. We're going to be honest about this because we thought it would be okay. I think if you're living and working full-time or even part-time normally, like a very traditional job where you go to work and then you come home, living in a van doing that would be fine. But the way that we've been doing it, because we're away for like between 3 to 14 days at a time and then coming back to the van.
Even longer. At the start we were away for a month at a time.
Yeah.
So in that time we had to take all our work clothes, some clothes for the evening, and I was bringing spare tools and stuff too because the work we're doing is pretty remote and I don't want to be stuck. So there's a lot of stuff to pack between work mode and living mode, and yeah, it's a big job getting ready to go for work.
Yeah, so we were like taking all of that stuff out of the van, and then every time we came like home for work, we would have to put it all back in, and it was just constant shuffling things around, and we might only be off for like 3 days at a time. So we're basically getting the fridge going again, because we were defrosting the fridge and turning everything off when we left the van, because we weren't leaving it sitting at like a caravan park or anything. We were able to store it in our works big shed.
But we didn't know how long we were going to be away for each time, so we pretty much, and it was still the tail end of the wet season at the start, so we basically had to put it into storage each time rather than just park up and leave. It was drain, empty the toilet and defrost the fridge and empty it and make sure everything was all tidy and fill up the moisture absorbers and stuff like that.
We were leaving the van in Darwin, and even if it's the dry season and it's the middle of winter up this way, like it's still so humid and it's still very warm. And on top of that, in saying that, anytime we would come back from work and we just wanted to like chill out, even our time off was just sweaty and wet, and we just couldn't have like any proper downtime. Like,
couldn't relax.
Yeah, couldn't relax at all on our days off, and it was just easier to be back at work, to be honest. So we had to make the decision to find a place to live instead, because doing it in the van has just not been.
So we always knew that over the wet season we would need to find a place to live because it's just not viable in the van at all. But just with those struggles of moving back into it and then leaving a few days later, losing at least half a day each way, we started to look for a place just now. So at least we'll have it in place for whenever the wet season starts.
Sorry. So luckily we ended up finding a place really quickly, and we ended up moving in, but we really only had like the space of, what was it, like 2 days or something
To move in?
Yeah.
Yeah, we moved in on Saturday and then went back to work on Monday.
Yeah, and like obviously it's not a big deal, because if you're living in a van, you can just take everything. You drive to your new house and you take everything out and put it straight in the house. But one, this place is furnished, which is excellent because you didn't have to buy a bed or couch or anything like that. But our van went in for a yearly inspection service, and we knew I had to get a couple of things done a couple of days before we were moving, because we only had a very short space, 4 days or something, that we were going to be off work.
So it's up for a routine inspection, yearly inspection, because it's a heavy vehicle and it needed a normal service anyway. But I'd noticed from driving around that the rocker cover was always getting pretty oily, and there's a problem with those sprinters that the injector seals go, and basically they leak out unburnt fuel, and it gets carbonized and all that, and goes all over the top of the rocker cover and makes this like sticky gunky stuff that hardens, and it's a problem called the Black Death. And I didn't think ours had it because the oily residue around our rocker cover was like really, it was just like liquid, like spray oil. But I brought it in to the servicing place, and they said that it was the injector seals that were gone in it. So I wasn't really surprised about it because I knew about that problem, but it needed fixed before getting the yearly inspection. So we went ahead to get that done, and during the process of it, they noticed that some of the other injector seals were gone. So they went to replace them all, because once you start the job, a lot of the labour is just in the initial breakdown. Once you're at the process of changing the injectors themselves, it's not much extra work. But one of the injectors was seized, and they tried. We were supposed to have the car in for 3 to 4 hours, and it ended up being in for 2 days. So
you had to get a hotel.
Had to get a hotel because we were supposed to be staying in it that night. The place had the car the full next day, and they were hoping that they could leave some lubricant on it and maybe let it free up overnight, but they didn't have any joy the next day either. So they just built the car up to get it back to us, but once they got it up and running, it wasn't really running well. They've done some tests, and now it needs at least 2 injectors, but they recommended just changing all 4 because doing 2 is just pointless. So
wow, it has been a pretty crazy couple of months, but it's also been a pretty crazy couple of days. Ryan's gone to the laundromat to sort all our washing out so we can just take fresh washing to our new place, and he's going to reorganize the back of our work ute, because obviously it's our work ute and it's still got all of our work stuff in it, so we're going to have to try and cram everything, or most things, from this van into our work ute to transport it all to our new place, which is about 3 hours-ish away. Weren't really expecting to do it this way. Not really the way I wanted to move out of the van. We just spent our last night in the van last night, and yeah, it wasn't really how we had planned, but life is pretty much just like that for us these days. Now I'm here by myself, and I'm just going to start packing all of our stuff. Today's Saturday, like I said. We actually go back to work on Monday, which means we're away for some time again. So just trying to pack everything as best we can that we can use over the next couple of days before we go. It's chaos. from the fridge? Yeah. Did you say you had some tape?
Yeah.
That one's fine.
That's what?
That one's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've pretty much cleared out everything. I did forget one of the cupboards in the pantry, but lucky Ryan checked.
Pantry, the main one.
Yeah, the one with all the food in it. It's looking so empty now. So just going through the last things. We're going to leave things like our portable washing machine and stuff like that because we're not going to need that over the next couple of months. Our camping chairs, which are up there, we won't need them either. So we'll wait till we get the van back. We are absolutely chockers here. And we still have room for, well, we still needed to make sure there was room for our washing basket, which is also so full because it has like all of our work stuff from over a week, and work stuff's pretty bulky. So I'll go back around here. Like, you think you don't have much stuff, and then you go to unpack it all and it's like, that's just loaded. But we're very fortunate to have use of our work vehicle to be able to move. So
you're saying we don't need a van this big?
we definitely do. I don't want to be crammed in there with all that stuff. Black smoke. Oh my god, that stinks. I don't even know how he can see through all that smoke.
Bye.
Bye. We've just arrived at our new house after a long day of a lot of mucking around. The dryers at the laundromat weren't working, so we ended up putting our clothes through like 3 times, so that made us about 2 hours late. But we're finally here, and so the place that we're renting at the moment is fully furnished, but we also emptied out the entire van because we didn't know how furnished it was, but it's actually pretty well stocked. But we're pretty lucky. There's still quite a few empty drawers and things, so we'll just chuck it all in there until we figure out what we're gonna do. So obviously we're not going to be doing this job forever, but it is going to be for some time. We really enjoy it. We get to travel around the state still and get paid for it. So yeah, it'll be at least another year, I'd say. And so we've been pretty much working flat out ever since we've moved. We have a couple of days off now, and we're actually going to Ireland, obviously, where Ryan is from, to just go and see his family and have a bit of a break.
It's been 4.5 years since I've been home, so
yeah,
it'd be good to get back.
And I've never been, so that's exciting. So we'll take you along that journey with us as well. The van's just getting fixed over the next month.
I told the mechanics, because we were working so much before going on holidays and then away for almost a month, I told them that we wouldn't be able to get back up to pick up the van if they do get it fixed, so they basically just have it for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And we pick it up when we come back.
Like we said, we are living in a house now. Well, it's not really, it's a little granny flat.
Thankfully.
Little, yes, very thankfully. It's a little 1-bedroom granny flat, and we were so lucky to get it while all this was happening because the timing was just insane. So from here, we don't really know what we're going to do because, like, obviously our stuff is based on living in a van and traveling the country, and we're kind of staying put now and we're not living in a van. So I think we'll do the odd trip here and there, but we don't really know where the channel's going to go. We'll keep putting out the ones from since South Australia up until we started work, and then pretty much go from there, but we'll update you then when it comes time.
And some Ireland ones.
Yeah. So tomorrow's video will be us continuing our journey from South Australia. So we'll be heading from Adelaide area. That bird is so loud. So we'll be heading from Adelaide area to York Peninsula, and like I said, that'll be out tomorrow, and we'll hopefully be back on track with fortnightly-ish videos from then. See you next time.